What's up, guys? My name is Tatiana O'Hara. I'm finally starting my YouTube channel and I'm super excited about this. I think we're gonna have a good time. So if you wanna learn about how to build your team, how to effectively run a team, how to have streamlined operations in your business, you're in the right place. So I watched a bunch of videos on like what people like in a YouTube video, and I know y'all like when we get straight to the point. So let's get straight to the point. Today we're gonna be talking about who you should be hiring on your team. Specifically who your next hire should be, or if you don't have a team yet, who your first hire should be. Now, this is important for a lot of different reasons. A lot of times when we identify that we need help, we just want to jump straight to it. We're just like, okay, cool, let me just run out and say that I'm hiring and like grab the first person that I find. And that's a huge mistake for a lot of reasons. One, it costs you a lot of money to make some, mistakes, right? By hiring the wrong person who can't necessarily fulfill the role that you need, maybe because you're not clear on what you need. But then also, I think it costs you in your mindset, because when you hire the wrong person and it doesn't work out, you kind of start to get defeated about the idea of having a team, and you kind of go back to that thought of like, I could just do it on my own, right? So when you are kind of trying to decide who you need on your team in order to meet your goals, the first thing that we want to do is take a look at what you're doing day to day in the business, right? Now, this is easier said than done. I think it's, you off the top of your head, you're like, oh, I do these 7 things. These are the things that I need to outsource. But there may be a lot of other things that you're not thinking of. So the first thing I want you to do is grab a piece of paper, and I want you to write out everything that you do day to day in the business. Now, this exercise may take you a while to do, right? You're probably not gonna do it in one sitting. I like to say take about a week to do this, right? And you're gonna write out everything from A to Z. So the easiest way to kind of start articulating this is to write out what it takes to get a client from the point of being interested in working with you to the point of being offboarded, right? Every step of the process that you're a part of. Then I want you to think about some of those kind of random one-off tasks that you're doing throughout the day. Then think about your administrative tasks. Think about what you do in marketing and in social media. When you're done, this list should honestly be like 50 things. If you find that your list only has like 10 items on it, you probably didn't go into enough detail. And you also really want to avoid generalizing. We don't want to just say, I do client work, I do lead management, right? What do those things entail? And spoiler alert, the reason why we do this is because when we're starting to figure out what to delegate, there may be things in your business that you feel like nobody can do but you. And some of that may be true, but maybe there are parts around it that other people can do. For example, on my coaching calls, I'm the only person who can lead my coaching calls. That's my decision. I've chosen not to hire other coaches to like coach for me, but maybe I'm not the only one who can do some of the other tasks that surround my coaching calls. Maybe other people can send out my replays. People can send out my reminder emails. People can make sure everyone gets in the Zoom room okay. Like there are so many other elements. And so that's the importance of really mapping out every little thing that you do. Now that you have your brain dump of tasks completed, we're going to put them into what we call a task matrix. This is a 4-quadrant document that can literally change your life. It is gonna help you figure out how you need to start delegating certain things within your business, right? Because I want you guys to leave behind this concept of like, the only support I can hire is someone to check my emails, right? You're drastically downplaying your team, your future team's ability to support you by limiting them just to some of those administrative tasks. So you're going to take what we call our task matrix, and this document has 4 quadrants. So in the top left quadrant, you're going to have the things that you like doing in your business that you also are pretty good at. The things you like to do, you're good at them. It feels good when you're doing these things. You don't feel like it's draining your energy. So you're gonna take that brain dump of tasks and grab the things that fit into that category and pop them in there, right? Then in our top right quadrant, we have the things that we don't really like to do, but we do them well. And so maybe these are the things where it's like, if push comes to shove, you can do it, but you prefer not to, right? For me, this is things like creating slide decks whenever I have to present. I love presenting, but I'm not a huge fan of like making the slides in Canva, but I can do it well, right? They're aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't take me a long time because I feel like it is a skill set of mine. And so that's where you're going to put some of those tasks. Then in the bottom left quadrant, we have the things that we like to do, but we don't really do them well. I like to call this the toxic zone because honestly, when you're like super busy in your business, you have all these things to do, these are the things that we like to distract ourselves with, right? So for me, this is a lot of the social media engagement. And when I say I'm not good at it, it's not that I'm not good at talking to people. It's that I don't really have a good system for it. I get a little scatterbrained at times and I end up spending hours on the app and really only reaching out to a handful of people because I'm constantly getting pulled away by different things, right? And so these are things that we don't realize that we may need to delegate because we like to do them, but we may not be the best person to fulfill those tasks. And then finally, in the bottom right-hand quadrant, you're gonna have the items of things that you don't like to do that you also don't do well. Now, this is probably gonna be the easiest one to articulate. You're probably like, oh, this is my whole list, like all of these things. Now, these are the items that we want to start delegating, right? Because they're slowing us down and it's an energy drain for us. It's taking us to a place of like not enjoying the work that we're doing. Now, this isn't to say that you're gonna love every task that you do in your business, right? Obviously, that's not the case. However, when we are beginning to hire people and leveraging support, the more that we can move our energy towards a place of being fulfilled, liking the things that we're doing, the better we're going to be able to lead our teams and the better we're going to be able to steer the company in the right direction, right? So now you have your task matrix fully filled out. So you have the things that you like to do, that you do well, otherwise known as your zone of genius, right? You want to make sure that there's no random things in here that don't necessarily generate revenue. So I had a client once that put Pinterest management in this category. She's like, I love to do it. I do it really well. However, that doesn't mean it's the best spend of your time, right? Then you have your top right quadrant, which is those things that you don't like to do, but you do them well. If push comes to shove, you can get it done. Then we have those items in the bottom left quadrant, right? The things that we like to do, but we're not that great at. And then finally, the things that are just a double whammy. We hate it, we're not good at it, we gotta get rid of it. So now the question is, okay, Tatiana, I have this beautifully filled out task matrix, but how is this telling me who I need to hire? Well, you're going to start with quadrant 4 and work your way backwards. This is kind of giving you a framework for the items that you want to start delegating and getting off of your plate as soon as possible. So I would start with quadrant 4, that's highest priority. Then I would move on to quadrant 3. Quadrant 2 is like, it's nice to delegate if you can. Quadrant 1, you're most likely going to hang on to. Now, looking at this task matrix, looking at, let's say, just 3 and 4 right now, so the bottom half of the matrix, which if you've noticed, the bottom half is all of the things that you don't do well, right? We want to look for some common trends in that matrix. Are you seeing it's a lot of administrative tasks? Is it a lot of marketing tasks? Is it a lot of, things with your podcast that you manage? Is it a lot of things directly working with your clients? And from those trends, we can almost pull out the roles that we need to hire for. Maybe you look at this matrix and it's super clear to you that you need someone who can manage your social media and you need someone who can manage client communication. Well, maybe that could be 2 different people. Maybe that could be 1 assistant. Maybe that could be you revisiting the social media manager that you already have and saying, hey, I realize I still have some of these things on my plate. Here are some things I'd like to delegate to you. There are a lot of different options that you can kind of take with this information. So if you're someone who already has a team, I highly recommend using this matrix to refine your team members' duties. And if you don't already have a team, definitely use this to identify who your next or first hire should actually be. So that's the quick and dirty version of how to figure out who that next hire on your team should be. I want you to be able to make impactful and educated decisions as you begin to grow and scale your company. And hopefully this helped you to do that. So if you love this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things. This is a new channel and I want as many people to see it as possible. It is so important that entrepreneurs learn how to build teams effectively, learn how to lead, learn how to manage, because there simply isn't enough education around this, right? We're constantly being told how to sell, how to get more clients, how to make more money, but we have to also learn how to actually run the company. So I look forward to sharing more tips and insight with you in the realm of team building, and I'll see you in the next video.